thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle.
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Come on and join us.
Sure, there's always room for one more.
Well, our heroes have been tricked into making a detour on their way to Mount Flatton to find Bullwinkle's mine. Their nemesis is, who else, that fiend in human form, Boris Badenov.
Ah, but remember, a fiend in need is a fiend indeed.
Now Rocky and Bullwinkle are bouncing along through a top-secret military reservation.
Sure, a lot of billboards on this road. I can't see the view.
Suddenly, Rocky came to a dreadful conclusion.
Bullwinkle, we're in the middle of a minefield.
Hot diggy!
We better stop.
Yeah, let's start digging.
No, Bullwinkle, I mean landmines.
You were expecting water mines? Oh, that's a good one. Water... Boy, they got pretty noisy dirt in these parts.
I've been trying to tell you, a landmine is kind of an underground bomb.
Oh.
And we're surrounded by them.
Then I guess I won't need the old shovel.
Oh boy, 2 explosions. That should do the dirty trick. Well, cheerio. I'm off to Mount Flatton.
We're off, darling.
What you are doing here, sweetheart?
Keeping you from stealing Moose's mine all for yourself, darling.
Who, me? Honey, pumpkin. Would I double-crossing on partner?
You tell me.
Yes, I would. Okay.
And the two villains zoomed off to jump Bullwinkle's claim to his Uncle Dewlap's mine.
But are you sure Moose and Squirrel won't bother us?
I send them into minefield, Natasha. Listen. Beautiful music. Dangerous landmines.
Which way now, Rock?
Gee, I don't know, Bullwinkle.
Then let's toss a coin.
Okay, heads we go north, tails we go south.
Looks more like we go west.
But Rocky and Bullwinkle weren't the only ones worried about their plight, for all over the area, people were listening to the explosions.
What do you figure it is, Slim?
Thunder, reckon.
Thunder? But it ain't rained here in 40 years.
Yep. I figure rain's just about due.
In a nearby Indian village, the people flocked to their medicine man to find the reason for the noises from the sky. Oh, owl who never sleep is great money too angry.
Ugh, maybe, but more likely as a shockwave produced by an aircraft at a velocity greater than that of sound.
I dig 'em. He says it's probably sonic boom. And at a secret launching pad headquarters in the middle of the desert, there was general consternation and his staff of missile experts.
Gentlemen, this is the most top-secret hush-hush base in the whole country, right?
Yes, General.
Well, listen. Does that sound hush-hush to you?
No, General.
Radar shows there are 2 nitwits wandering around in the minefields. They must be silenced.
Yes, General.
And I don't care how.
Yes, General. And so, in just a few minutes, 2 huge steel monsters rumbled toward our friends, their guns ready to blast them sky high.
Uh-oh. What are they, Rock?
Tanks, Bullwinkle. I said tanks, Bullwinkle.
Oh, do I have to say it?
You better. Our time is running out.
Okay. You're welcome.
Too late. Be sure to see our next episode, two flying ghosts, or high spirits.
And now it's time for...
Time for the dancing fool, Bullwinkle.
Again?
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
And now for one of our special fairy tales.
Yeah.
It was once spoken that,
Gratitude is a quality not limited to man.
though just why it was spoken, no one has ever been quite certain. For at the time of this saying, there lived a poor slave named Androcles.
My friends call me Andy.
However, he was seldom called Andy because
I don't have any friends.
Androcles was owned by a wealthy merchant who treated him cruelly and forced him to work very hard. From morning till night, he did the cooking, made the bed, scrubbed the floors, and mended his master's torn togas. And for the tiniest little mistake, he was punished severely.
Hold still, master. There's a fly on your nose.
Don't hit him with that, you idiot. You'll hurt me. Get the fly spray.
Yes, master. Got him.
All right, that did it. Now you know what's going to happen to you.
No, master. Not that.
Ah, but the merchant showed him no mercy. He made him stand in the corner for 2 hours. Time after time, Androcles tried to please his master and win his gratitude, but never with any success.
Come, master. I have prepared a nice hot bath for you.
Well, how nice. Oh!
Was the water a tiny bit too hot for master?
And, of course, he was again severely punished.
I can't stand another minute of this inhuman punishment. I'll run away, and I'll search the world for someone who will give me gratitude for what I do.
And so he did. For that very night, as his master lay sleeping, he stole out of the house and scurried away into the darkness. The next morning, Androcles was deep in the forest where he was certain his master would never find him. He was walking along his merry way when suddenly a voice called to him from a dense thicket.
Oh there, stranger.
Ho yourself. Who speaks?
It is I.
Androcles found himself face to face with the biggest, fiercest-looking lion he had ever seen. He was terrified and turned on his heels to flee and would have gotten away but for a huge tree that slightly blocked his path. Certain that the lion was upon him, he looked over his shoulder but noticed that the beast was simply lying there, moaning and whimpering piteously.
What seems to be the trouble?
I have a vicious thorn in my paw, and it hurts me terribly. Please have pity. Pull it out for me.
Are you kidding? If I got that close to you, you'd grab me and eat me up.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. Honest Injun. Remove the thorn. I will be your friend for life.
The poor beast's pleadings were so convincing and he seemed so sincere that Androcles decided to take a chance.
Careful now, careful.
Hold still.
Oh!
The lion was overjoyed with relief and thanked Androcles profusely.
You know, I really feel he's grateful.
Oh, I am grateful.
Androcles was very pleased, for he had finally earned gratitude for something he had done. He bid the lion farewell and went on his way. Several days later, however, fate struck Androcles a cruel blow, for he was captured by soldiers and taken to the city and thrown into the dungeon. It was there that he learned that he was to be used in the circus.
Being in the circus isn't too bad. I mean, maybe they'll let me be a clown.
It isn't that kind of a circus, friend. They're gonna throw you to the lion.
This is sure gonna ruin my summer.
The following day, the stands were filled, and the emperor and all his court came to view the spectacle. A hush fell over the arena. Androcles trembled. The signal was given. The steel door creaked open, and with a mighty roar, a gigantic, ferocious lion bounded into the arena. The beast had been kept without food for several weeks to make him even more fierce, and he shook his great head with rage. The quaking Androcles prepared to meet his fate when, suddenly, he recognized the lion as the same one from which he'd removed the thorn. A wave of relief swept over him as he shouted,
Leo, wait, it's me, Andy. Do you remember me?
Yeah. You took the thorn out of my paw.
Right. right. And you were grateful because I did you a favor, so now you won't eat me.
I sure am hungry.
I know, but you still won't eat me. I'm your friend.
They didn't feed me for 2 weeks.
But you still won't eat me, will you? Will you?
Lion 1, Androcles.
Oh, dear, dear, dear. So as you can plainly see, dear friends, the moral to this story is that if you ever do a favor for a great beast with long teeth and sharp claws, and he tells you that he will be forever grateful, don't you believe him. Because you can just bet your boots that he's a lion.
Hello, you big thinkers, you. Today's lecture is entitled Falling Asleep on the Job Can Lead to a Rude Awakening, or Don't Be a Somnambulist Chaser. Let us suppose first that you are an admiral in the army doing sentry duty. The condition is red, and so are your eyeballs from lack of sleep. Falling asleep here would mean you'd lose your good conduct ribbon. The best way to stay awake is rush inside the nearest shack and light a cigarette. Preferably a candy cigarette. Next, we shall take a situation often faced by test pilots. You find yourself in the latest model, with your speedometer reading half full. You are ready to go into a screaming dive. After you land, right now it is your job to break the sound barrier, or at least bend it a little. You turn on your radio and contact the tower. This is Red Letter Day, calling Disabled Baker Charlie. Mayday, over. You discover to your disgust that Disabled Baker Charlie has gone into a screaming dive to wait for you. Anxious to get this over with, you throw the ship into a screaming dive. Hiya, fellas. Now I ask you, who could sleep in here?
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All, for showing us how to stay awake.
Hello out there, Peabody, Sherman, and way back here.
Where to today, Mr. Peabody?
Paris, Sherman.
Illinois?
Paris, France. To the laboratory of Europe's most distinguished biologist and chemist, Louis Pasteur.
The date, Mr. Peabody?
1888, Sherman. No sooner was the Wayback Machine set into motion than Sherman and I were catapulted back into history. We joined Louis Pasteur in an unusual experiment.
Please, Fifi, come down and give me 1 quart of milk. A pint. A thimbleful. Sacre bleu, it is hopeless.
Your cow is obstinate, Monsieur Pasteur.
Oui, and unless she gives milk, I cannot conclude my experiment on Louisization.
Louisization?
That is what I call my process.
Why not call it pasteurization?
Ah, that's not bad. Very well. Pasteurization.
Why won't Fifi give milk, Mr. Pasteur?
Well, for one thing, she does not think she is a cow. Same move for the gentleman, Fifi.
Fifi sounds like a rooster.
Not only sounds, I found these in her stall this morning. Eggs. Pure, unadulterated eggs.
There's more here than meets the cow, Monsieur Pasteur. Just then, the door opened.
Monsieur Pasteur?
Oui?
I am the director of the Faculty of Sciences. Are you prepared to conduct your experiment on Louisization?
Pasteurization, monsieur. No, I am not prepared.
I cannot give you any more time. You have until tomorrow morning.
Without milk, I will never be ready.
Then let's go out and get some.
It seemed like a good idea, but unfortunately, the 4-H Club of France was holding a conclave in Paris, and when those children drank milk...
I couldn't buy 1 quart.
And all the cows I came across were in a state of exhaustion.
Then the responsibility lies with Fifi. She must perform.
We kept Fifi under observation, but her behavior was normal. That is, until the sun went down.
She's heading for the door.
Quick, stop her!
No, let's see where she goes. There followed a fantastic tour of Paris. from the top of the Eiffel Tower, through the sewers beneath the city, and finally in a dark alley on the left bank of the Seine, Fifi entered a cellar.
Perhaps she paints at night. Nothing that cow does would surprise me.
Keep your voices low. Unless I'm wrong, and I never am, Fifi is keeping a rendezvous.
Look into my eyes. You are a chicken. You are not a cow. You are a chicken. You will not give milk to Pasteur. You may lay an egg or two, but you will not give milk.
That man is hypnotizing Fifi.
It is my stepbrother, Gaston. He is in showbiz.
A hypnotist?
The greatest, monsieur. But why is he doing this? Does he hate milk?
You will return to Pasteur's laboratory as though you had never been away. But you will not give milk.
Oh, yes, she will.
Louis!
Your scheme won't work, Gaston.
What scheme, monsieur? This cow wandered in and...
Enough! Obviously, you were jealous of Pasteur's success as a biologist. You know of his experiments on pasteurization?
Louisization.
No, we changed that.
So you figured if he couldn't get milk, his experiment would fail.
I don't know who you are, monsieur, but you are right. However, there is nothing you can do, because I will hypnotize all of you into thinking you are canaries.
Focusing his evil eye, Gaston prepared to do his evil work.
You are canaries. You are not what you are.
Already, Sherman and Pasteur were beginning to fall prey to Gaston's hypnotic trance. That's when I pulled out my sunglasses and quickly shielded my eyes.
You are a canary, a little teensy-weensy canary.
Of course, Gaston was unaware the dark glasses acted as a reflector. His trance simply bounced back where it came from.
A canary, a little canary who... Tweet, 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 tweet.
That ended Gaston's little game. He was given some seed and placed in a cell. Freed from Gaston's power, Fifi made up for lost time by furnishing Pasteur with enough milk to last a month. Relieved, the master chemist returned to his experiment, as Sherman and I prepared to return home.
What a great man Mr. Pasteur was.
Yes, Sherman. He gave us a wonderful salad.
Salad, Mr. Peabody?
Those shrimps on that plate, Sherman. Haven't you ever heard of Shrimp Louis?
Well, happy days are here again for Boris and Natasha. Boris sent Rocky and Bullwinkle into a secret missile base where they immediately ran into a minefield. Then there was general consternation and his staff, who sent a couple of tanks out to investigate intruders. The two tanks ground to a stop at the edge of the minefield. Then suddenly a loudspeaker blared.
This is Major Hardrock of the Intruder Disposal Corps. You are to leave this area immediately.
But we can't. We're surrounded by landmines.
Yeah, and they go off real easy, too.
Why, if we was to just step over there... See what I mean?
Very well. This means we must use the Intruder Disposal Unit M3.
What do you suppose that M3 unit is, Bullwinkle?
I don't know, but I don't like the sound of that word disposal.
Then the turrets of the tanks slowly opened.
Hokey smoke, Bullwinkle, look at that.
I didn't think I'd like it.
Yes, an enormous mechanical hand emerged from the tank and firmly clutched our heroes in its iron grip.
Now what do you suppose happens?
The boys soon found out, for at that moment a huge mechanical foot also made its appearance.
Now I know what they mean by disposal. Fire two!
And our heroes went sailing through the air. Meanwhile, out on the highway, Boris and Natasha sped along on their motorcycle.
Won't be long, Natasha. We'll be at Mount Flatten.
You sure Moose and Squirrel won't show up unexpectedly?
I'm absolutely positive. By now they've been blown into itsy little bits. They're goners, kaput, all finished.
Then who is that we just passed?
Ghosts! Must have been ghosts.
Hitchhiking?
And Boris quickly pulled the motorcycle to a halt.
What are you going to do now, Boris?
You couldn't guess, Natasha? Me, world's #1 villain, cold-blooded, nerves of steel? What would I do?
What?
I cry like baby.
Boris.
And while Boris tried to drain the tears out of his goggles, Rocky and Bullwinkle were still trying to hitch a ride to Mount Flatten.
Hey, how about it?
can you give us a...
Gee, we could be stranded here from now on, Bullwinkle.
Well, I'll stop the next car, Rock.
How?
I'll just lie down here in the road is what.
Hey, that's dangerous.
Tut, tut, Rocket. Who in the world would ever run over somebody laying in the middle of the road? Well, now we know who.
But it seemed the driver of that large limousine had seen Bullwinkle, for the car stopped and began to back up.
Looks like he's coming back for another crack at you, Bullwinkle.
Now that is going a little too far.
Hey, he's stopping.
I told you it'd work.
Gee, this is awful nice of you, Mr.
He's probably shy, Rocky. Let's just get in.
Our heroes did get into the limousine, and it started off down the road.
It's a little warm in here, Bullwinkle. Let's roll down a window.
Okay, Rock. Hey, that's funny.
What?
There's no window cranks.
No door handles either. Hey, I don't like this, Bullwinkle.
I'm not exactly crazy about it myself.
Hey, mister, what kind of car is this anyway?
But still the driver remained silent. For had our boys only known it wasn't a real driver at all, but only a dummy fastened to the wheel, and yet with no human hand to control it, the limousine roared on faster and faster toward... what? We'll find out next time in Crash Drive or Oedipus Rex.
Looks as if our time has just about run out.
Mine must be a little slow.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop!
We're late again, Bullwinkle.
Right.
Bye now. See you next time.